Maiden name of Faith Levchenko. She was born in Poltava in 1893, but soon his family moved to Moscow, where he was educated, married lawyer Vladimir Cold, and decided to become an actress. With the beginning of the First World War, her husband went to the front, and Vera began her acting career. After a small role in a production of Anna Karenina, Cold appealed to the atelier of one of the key figures of pre-revolutionary cinema of Alexander Konzhonkov, where he quickly became a leading actress. Having no theatrical experience, the Faith once upon a time, but never played her characters. Some argue that to play she just could not and was only pretty model. Anyway, her roles have found a special response from the audience. Every next movie with her was becoming more popular in cinemas, queues, and for 4 years Faith has played in about 50 pictures. Starred Faith mainly in the so-called salon drama, which was especially popular in those years. Although it has not lost relevance, because the best British film of 2018, Mistress, can be attributed to this genre. It was a drama from the life of the aristocracy or those who wanted to break into high society. The characters were often called in the love polygons, where, in addition to men and women, was money, fame, gambling and alcohol. Most often, Faith becomes a victim of male passion. And if Cinderella of European and American cinema, having passed all tests, yet well-deserved love and wealth, heroines called expected suffering and death. On-screen passion was so convincing that each of the following partner on the film was recorded in Lovers of the Faith. And steadily increased the number of stories of men who tamed yourself, as someone else of age through an unfortunate love for the cold. Among the ardent fans of Faith was the poet and singer Alexander Vatinsky, who was devoted to her own lyrics. And his song, Your Fingers Smell of Incense, became the anthem of the premature death of the Queen of the Screen. However, as is the case so far, viewers only tolerated the screen image to the performer role. Loved ones and colleagues of Cold recalled her as a devoted sister, wife and mother. For a female audience, in turn, the Cold became a role model of style. Women tried to copy her clothes, hairstyle and hats that were sometimes very unexpected and bizarre. The popularity of movies with Vera Cold did not abate even in the midst of the civil war in Russia. At the same time, the number of cultural figures who fled to Ukraine have increased. For many it was a homecoming. Vera Cold returned to Ukraine as part of an expedition of the Moscow cinematographic businessman and Kharkiv Tatry Karatonov. From the Ukrainian government, he gets permission to organize film production in Odessa. Cold plays in several films, acts with vaudeville numbers. And on February 16, 1919, after a short illness, died in an incomplete for 26 years. The official version, a flu complications, so-called Spanish flu. Gossip persistently argued, spied Cold in favor of the Bolsheviks, the whites or the French. He shot her sailors, poisoned white lilies, strangled by a jealous lover. The role of the lover, of course, there were enough candidates with the highest political, military and artistic circles. With the establishment of the communist regime, the title of Queen of the Screen turns to Faith's shameless desecration of her memory. Cold has become a symbol of bourgeois cinema, and her name was mentioned mainly in a negative context. Keep with her and then you could see, but now the sessions began with an explanation like, this image is pathetic and conceited bourgeois lifestyle where everything is on sale, women, beauty, love. With similar warnings in Soviet cinemas were American films. In a rather immoral about the light of Faith Cold reads in the play, John, Gregory Plotkin, where next to her I remember another character than Odessa gangster Mishka Yaponchik, as well as, John Over the Sea, Yuri Smolik, famous for its artistic denunciations to the ENKF, he wrote to film director Alexander Dovzhenko. A certain reconstruction light of an image, although again far from reality, occurred in the lovingly revolutionary, Servant of Love, by Nikita Mikhalkov, released in 1975. Vera Cold became the prototype of the heroine, far from the policy of a popular actress who falls in love with an underground revolutionary and becomes interested in his struggle. It would be worthwhile to speak about the participation of the Cold in the struggle for liberation of Ukraine. So the writer Konstantin Pastovsky tells us that in revolutionary times in Kiev were rumors that Vera Cold gathered his army and, like Joan of Arc, leading his army on a white horse, entered the town of Priliki, where he declared himself Ukrainian empress.